Andy Mok is joining us now. He's a senior research fellow at the Center for China and Globalization. It's great. I hope you can talk to us a little bit about China's interest in sharing opportunities with Africa. There's been this meeting in Africa we just talked about. It comes on the heels of another meeting earlier this month in Xiamen. Today I went to the Cyberspace Administration of China website. They posted the chair of the Central Cyberspace Affairs Commission comments on the importance of this dialogue between China and Africa. And I'm quoting now, "We fully recognize the need to strengthen China-Africa cooperation on AI and are willing to uphold the original aspiration of treating each other as equals." Can you talk about this approach to sharing opportunities with Africa?
Absolutely, Mike. So I think that this statement quite accurately encapsulates China's position towards working with the continent of Africa on artificial intelligence. So first of all, there's an enormous need. Africa is almost 1.5 billion in population, long has faced challenges in sustainable development from an economic perspective. So there's enormous need there. Second, I think China is uniquely positioned to work with Africa on the opportunities and the challenges posed by artificial intelligence. So China, of course, along with the United States, is a global technology leader, especially in artificial intelligence, and more the embodiment of artificial intelligence through industrial applications, other kinds of robots. So China has a lot to offer from this perspective. But at the same time, China is still a developing nation and faces its own set of complex development hurdles. So this means that China has, I would say, a unique affinity and very deep understanding of the challenges and the aspirations of people on the African continent. So I think for these reasons, it really makes a lot of sense for China to be working with Africa. The other point I want to mention, too, is that the very young population in Africa, I think the median age is less than 20, compared to below 40 in the United States and China, and above 40, above even 45 in Europe. So this, again, presents both challenges and opportunities that I think China, because of its technological capabilities, its experience, and the expertise it's accumulated over decades of lifting hundreds of millions of people out of poverty, really is uniquely positioned to work with Africa. And I think the Chinese government recognizes that.
Well, and to your point about challenges, I mean, I think the Belt and Road Initiative has clearly illustrated, how disadvantaged the African continent is from the standpoint of infrastructure. It's in many cases in woeful state, and this has helped considerably. And you can see how the continent itself could really fall behind in this push around the globe if they fall behind on something as important as AI, right?
Absolutely. And I think this is the political dimension to this as well, and perhaps we could say the philosophical dimension, in that China is committed to this idea that the benefits of AI are equitably shared within society, but across countries as well. So I think one thing China's taken a strong stand on is being against the accumulation of technological and economic power that AI can confer, whether that's to a particular country or to a particular small handful of companies. So by working with Africa, I think very clearly, I think that this is very important, especially through multilateral organizations like the United Nations, where China and the countries of Africa together can present a much more unified and powerful voice in ensuring that everyone around the globe benefits in a fair way from the benefits of artificial intelligence.
Can you talk? Yeah, I
was just going to say, Mike, it's the physical infrastructure. It's also the digital infrastructure and the governing infrastructure as well.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about, governance, because that's going to be a key feature of all of this as well. Is that one of the outcomes of these meetings, is just to sit down and kind of map out the future, that everybody's on the same page?
I think it definitely is. But I think countries around the world are also approaching this with a certain amount of humility. It's recognized universally that these are important topics, not only from an economic perspective, the distribution of gains, but even very profound philosophical questions, that if we have artificial intelligence that are not just tools and not just assistants, but perhaps equal partners with humans, what does this mean? So I think this does require a more universal human response, and again, through national level dialogue, multilateral dialogue as well, that this is very, very important in terms of governance, and also to ensure that no one is left out. And I think historically, again, when we've seen the age of colonialism, the age of imperialism, the countries in disadvantaged positions economically often did not have their views adequately considered. And I think this is something that is very front of mind for countries like China.
Andy Mok, always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks so much for your insights.